Everything is energy. And whatever energy you are is what you're going to attract. Welcome back to Along the Spiritual Journey. I am Jah, your spiritual tour guide, and V is for vibration. So, how do you raise your vibe? One of the easiest analogies that I like to use is think of a cup of water. We've all heard this analogy before. You are pure water. That is your initial vibration. A lot of things need water. Everything needs water for the most part. It's attracted to water, necessary. It's pure, right? Now, once you decide to allow other things around you to come pour into you and put inside of you, whatever that might be, that is a frequency, because that frequency now is going to call in whatever they put inside of you. So let's say if you're pure water, yes, most things like water. Most things don't need water. They only need it when they need it. But if you put sugar and stuff in that water, well, you're going to call in a bunch of bugs. You're going to call in a bunch of things that like sweets. So that's the frequency that you're putting out now, that I'm sweet. Come take from me, drink from me, take everything. And you're going to get things that you don't want. You're going to get an infestation. So this is how you get a bunch of toxic energy and people around you that you do not want to be around or believe in, because you're not paying attention to where your source energy comes from, right? When we are intentional with our energy, it means that we are purposely going out of our way daily to make sure that we purify ourselves for self. That means going on nature walks, making sure that you get some air, making sure that you do what you want to do as far as who you are in life, right? The person you are behind closed doors and jumping around and being playful in the mirror, that is your genuine base foundation. You do not have to go show anybody this person, right? A lot of people think being showboaty is raising your vibration because it seems confident. Showboaty just means that you have a mask, and you've learned that what confident people look like to you is people who are boisterous and put themselves out there and they're energetic. That's part of being confident, but that's not all of being confident. And if you know that you're not genuinely a confident person, it's going to come out sooner or later, because you're going to start feeling bitter and resentful that that other person is getting attention and you don't understand why. Trust me, I've gone out many times in situations where my vibration is high. When I tell you that in any room I walk in, people are like, oh, hi, you're tall. Oh, hi, I love your smile. Oh. And I don't take that like, ooh, I'm like people. No, it's just like my entire life, I get the hype first, then I get the smile. And then people are like, there's something about your energy. I just can't put my finger on it. And it's like, my energy attracts what's intentional. My energy is the sole embodiment of who I am, which is pure love. When I tell you that there is not much that pisses me off, there's not much that pisses me off. There's not too many things that come into my life that make me feel bad. Like, there are situations that I'm upset about. There are moments and people that I could be disappointed in. But that doesn't change the chemistry of who I am. It does not change my vibration. So I am never literally at that density of where most people sit and reside. Most people's density is stuck at, well, whatever people tell me to be. Well, whatever I was raised to be. Well, wherever I live, that's who I am. Okay, that to me is self-defeating. And I want you to know now, if you do not want to feel self-defeat, you have to be confident in self. That's how you raise your vibration. Every single one of my videos, I'm going to talk about confidence, because that was my main thing when I first started. I was a confidence coach. But then I quickly learned that people just wanted to use my confidence and mimic my confidence. They weren't actually taking the lesson learned. So I had to stop doing that. And then I went into spiritual work, which I was doing trauma work and shadow work. That's heavy. Bless those who can do it. But I was like, y'all tainted my energy. You gotta go. So I learned that it's better for me to just put stuff online and be a technical teacher who tells people stuff of what they can do and apply through their life that way. So that is my vibration as it stands. I like to share energy to those who require that energy. And my vibration will call in the ones who need to hear the message. I've never been a person who chased likes and all that stuff. If people like what I do, they'll watch what I do. If what I'm meant to be doing is going to be seen, it's going to be seen. So the only thing I can do as a creator, as a human, as a person, is to keep my vibration at the level that I want, right? So in order to, what we say, attract in energy that we like, You as the individual have to remember that, yes, there are people out in this world right now who seem like they're winning because they're getting a bunch of monetary things that people have created and putting value on. It's all just stuff. You guys realize that we are souls inside of a human vessel, and once this vessel passes or is no longer to exist, your soul has to go back to the maker. That's when you're going to get the feather in the heart on the scale, and it's going away. Were you a good energy? Were you vibrating at a good energy, or were you just horrible to people, right? And that's what's going to leave the legacy. That's when you get generations and generations of ancestor work, where, again, remember, we're just clones of our ancestors. You might feel unique to yourself, and then you look back at a video or something of somebody from decades ago, you talk just like them, act just like them, sound just like them, right? Because the human body is a clone, but the soul is its own unique vessel within the body. So you have to know how to pour into the soul. You have to know how to talk to the soul. You have to know how to let the soul talk to you. Right now, my soul is speaking to you guys because my body, a long time ago, I said, I trust where my soul needs to go, and whatever my soul needs to do, we'll complete that journey together. Because the thing is about energy work, the vessel is going to have its reservations. It's going to have its moments of fear and trauma and triggers that were given to us by the humans on this earth through their souls, whoever they are, who are trapped in some vessel that they don't believe in, and then they give you all this garbage that they think you're supposed to believe in, and then you replicate the same energy over and over and over. Remember, energy does not care who it comes from. Energy doesn't care if it's dark or pure. Energy just wants to be used, because energy is a spectrum, right? We have black, we have white, but in the middle is gray. That's the gradient. And if you go really, really fine in with a microscope, you'll see that they're just black and white mixed together. And then on the outside, far out, in the bigger picture, it looks gray. So this is all of us. This is why we say that love is a spectrum, identity is a spectrum, sexuality is a spectrum, because it's all of what you encompass. You're not just one thing, you're all of it. So in order to vibrate and call in exactly what you want, you have to be the whole spectrum, right? There's a lot of people who cut off their superpowers because they're choosing to polarize themselves. In the masculine energy, you can be the most masculine of masculine, and everybody in that world can praise you and love you. But guess what? That masculine is deeply, deeply yearning for a feminine who can let them feel soft and allow them to put down their walls. And the same thing for the feminine. You can be the most femmy of the fem, right? But that feminine still wants a masculine that can hold them down and keep them solid and be who they want to be in that moment of feeling safe. Now, a lot of people run out into the world and they try to look for this in others versus being that for themselves. Because then when we say, I want to meet my soulmate, I want to meet my true person, okay, in order to do that, you have to be both. You have to be both masculine and feminine within your energy. I don't care about outside appearance. I don't care about below the belt. I'm talking about with yourself. Are you soft with yourself? Do you allow yourself to rest? Do you allow yourself to have peace? Or are you always in chaos and doing and trying and hustling, right? That's not natural. You got to find balance. Are you always trying to prove something? Are you always trying to be the one who has the last voice or opinion? Okay, sometimes you got to step back and listen and let somebody else be seen and heard, right? That's masculine and feminine at the same time. Now, again, how that energy is expressed and interpreted is then the frequency that you're putting out. My vibration is I am a dualistic soul who is balanced within myself. So I am Sigma energy. Whatever it goes up to, however people want to change it. It went from beta to alpha to omega to Sigma right now means both. All is. I am everything. Not only can I be mama and not only can I be daddy, I am mama. I am daddy. Right? I can do it all. I can be whoever I need to be for anybody, but that's not what I'm on this earth for. I'm here to be everybody for me at all points in times. That's why I have the confidence to walk out into the world and say, whatever, I don't really care. Like if something happens, if something falls apart, it doesn't break me, it doesn't make me fall into a deep depression and I start drinking and throwing my body to waste. Now, don't get it twisted. When I was younger, I definitely did because I didn't know any better. Now that I'm older and I know better, it's like, baby, your health, your looks, your wealth are not worth that momentary person's misjudgment and mishap. Now, I do not blame myself in situations. I can blame the decision that I made, but I do not blame myself. How does that make sense? If you see a child do something that they don't know the repercussions of, and then they do something and they had to learn in that moment, you don't scold the child for learning. You say, well, what did you learn? Oh, that's hot and I shouldn't touch it. Okay, there you go. Now let's take care of you, put your bandages on and make sure you feel good. That's how you gentle parent the inner child in you. That's how you gentle parent any child. You don't blame them for not knowing. Now, once they know, if they keep doing it, then you say, okay, sit your little ass down. You know better. Now you just try to piss me off, right? And so that's where you start finding that energy is defiant in you. You got to start going back and doing that trauma work. You got to go back and do that history and find out what's inside of me that makes me want to keep sabotaging everything. What's this energy inside of me that makes me want to keep knowing I shouldn't do it, but I keep doing it anyways? That's what all of this stuff is about. When we talk about shadow work, when we talk about ancestor work, we talk about like regular human therapy, because they're different. Regular human therapy is for the vessel. It's for the human body. It's for this energy that was raised from child up to adult, teenager, whatever, for it to release the anxiety and the issues that it's been holding on to. Because remember, we are that cup. We are the water. So our body is the cup. And yeah, you can keep pouring water into it, but did you clean the cup? It don't matter if you are pure water. If you keep going out and doing soul work and doing ayahuasca and doing retreats, that's pure water poured into you. But if the vessel is still dirty, none of it matters. So you have to know how to clean your cup too, which means taking care of yourself. No one's telling you that you have to be ripped crazy, but all that, but move your body. You have joints, you have ligaments, you have muscle. It needs to be moved, period. There's no discussion about it. So you have to move your body. Go for a walk, be outside, do whatever you got to do. Do stretches in the house. That's fine. Read. It needs material. It needs to receive information so that it can understand how to have discernment. Right. It needs to express itself. It needs to get this stuff out so that it knows that these ideas don't belong to me. They're passing through as just company. And I can hold on to these as ideas and so that I can use later for knowledge, but it doesn't belong to me. All knowledge, even what I'm saying, it does not belong to me. It belongs to everyone. This is the collective conscious. This is how it works. So when I understand that I attract who I am based on the embodiment of my soul, then my intention is, okay, let me continue to do the work so that I can keep calling in the energy that is genuinely built for me, meant for me, and wants to be near me, right? Again, you'll meet people where they like, I don't drink water. Good to know, because I don't want you around me. All you told me is you full of crap. Sugar, juice, caffeine, chemicals. Get out of here. I don't need that near me. Who's mad at water? It's a life source. So again, instantly when I hear that, I know, oh, I already know where you're from. I already know what tribe you belong to. I already know what language y'all speak. I already know the energy. I know your vibration. I'm good, boo. And I'm not judging those people. I'm just saying, like, do you understand that that means your soul is so tainted that it doesn't care about your human vessel? You got to remember, there are souls who have hijacked bodies. At any point in time, if you allow it, a soul or entity can hijack your body. This is where people talk about demons and all this stuff. You can call it whatever you want. I call it energy. And so whatever energy you allow to hijack you, it will. If you got to remember, if you are so powerful and that you are so clean, it doesn't matter what try to stick to you. It will burn off like pure hot energy. Pure light is hot. That's why the sun is hot. That's why lasers are hot. That's why everything, pure light is hot. So dirt, crap, metal, nothing can stick to it. Nothing. It's just going to burn off, crack, whatever. It won't adhere to you. But if you allow yourself to just be in the cold and the darkness, well, guess what? Anything that thinks that it can stick to you will. Anything that wants to be around you will. And it will freeze and it will trap you. And you'll be in this hardened shell of other people's debris. And you won't be able to vibrate. You got to think about that. Everything needs something to move. So if you're constantly around dark, negative, crappy people, no matter how much you want to vibrate, if their hold on you was stronger than the vibration that you can receive, baby, you're stagnant, you're stuck. But when you know your true source energy, it doesn't matter how hard they try to hold on to you, you vibrate so hard, you shake the crap off, okay? That's why people talking about vibration praise right now. Like, people looking at it like it's a joke. It don't matter. If you shake something hard enough or let it vibrate long enough, the debris will fall off. That's how they clean jewelry. That's how they clean other things. I mean, what do you think washing a car is? The vibration and the penetration of the force of the water hitting the car knocks the dirt off. Everything in life works this way. When you clean dishes, that is the vibration and the friction of you moving to clean off the debris. So then the vibration of you is, I'm clean. Now I can be a clean plate to be used. Ain't nobody going into the dirty sink and picking up a dirty plate and putting fresh food on that. How does that make sense? So that's spirit work, that's soul work. That's how it all comes back to self. So if you are literally always trying to put in this, and this is from my spiritual baddies who are like, why I keep praying and I keep hoping and I'm wishing, because your cup is dirty. Clean your cup. Clean your cup. That means your body has to trust you. It has to know that you are the genuine, real deal. So if your soul is lying to itself, the body will know at all times. When we talk about our gut intuition and we know better and we should do better, we just ignore the gut and we do it anyways. And we'll find out and learn the lesson. Trust me, I still do stupid stuff all the time. But in order for my soul to learn the lesson, I have to complete the cycle. And once my soul knows, then I will stop repeating the dumb cycle. A lot of times when we get into depressions or we self-sabotage, think about, have you ever been in a relationship and you with somebody and they seem perfect and everything is great? And in one situation, because we're going to do both sides, we got the one who's a mask and they're pretending to be who you want them to be. That mask will slip because they don't know what it really takes to be pure. But there are people who are pure and they doing all the work and they're trusting and believing in the work, but they don't understand that your cup is dirty. So no one knows that you're pure inside. They just see that you look like them, you're vibrating like them, so they think you want to be used the same way. And they're going to pour that crap into you and you're going to trust and believe it because you don't understand that you're actually the source that's giving them the pure light. That's why you have to know who you are so that you don't get lost in translation, right? So when I say raise your vibes, I'm not talking about trying to go out and showboat and be like, yeah, I'm the loudest, I'm the baddest, out of that. No, you can be the quietest person in the room and have the most strongest power and draw. I tell you right now, people still do that. I don't ever go out and be like, oh, I want attention. I love attention. Don't get me wrong. Like, let's let play. I like attention. But I don't try to go out and get attention. Do I know how to gather attention? Absolutely. But for the most part, even if I'm sitting quiet in a room doing nothing, people are like, oh, who are you? Or you're so tall, or your smile, or blah, 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 blah. And so those are just my natural vibrations. So they're going to call in everybody. And then eventually when people talk to me, they're going to hear what I pour into myself. And then my frequency is going to like either repel them or attract them more. So then I'm going to get people like, ooh, I like what they're saying, or ooh, I like what they're about. Let me figure this out a little bit more. And they're going to come closer to me. Now, in this moment, my body is feeling the energy. It's filtering everything. My soul is attracted to certain things. So my soul is going to be attracted to an energy that it thinks it likes from its past. And that's what we say. We have to have discernment. And I've met energies where I'm like, this is from my past. This person acts, talks, speaks just like that person who either I was cool with and they disappeared and I wish that we could have stayed connected, or that person was trash and I know they was trash and they're trying to come back and see if they can wiggle their way back into my energy field. And so, depending on how you ended that cycle or never ended it, your soul is going to let that energy back in and it's going to say, okay, either we're going to finish this video game level or we're going to stay stuck in this cycle. So a karmic cycle is saying, okay, I keep attracting the same person, but I never learned the lesson. So I'm going to keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it with different people, different bodies, different scenarios, different states. It don't matter how many times you move, where you go in the world, you're going to attract the same energy because you never completed the cycle. So when we say walk through the fire so that you can come out whole, face it. Let it be what it is. Let it fall apart, whatever. But when it falls apart, you don't fall apart. You hold your head up high and you figure out what the next step is. That's completing a cycle. Now, if you fall apart, then they're winning because now they get to take from you. They cracked you open and they're eating all your goods. They're, I got to the yolk. Let me cook them. Let me eat them. Let me take everything and devour their energy. And now you got to start all over again. Versus They kept trying to crack you and crack you and crack you, and they couldn't. So they give up. But guess what? Even if you have a little bit of a crack or a fissure, they never got inside. And that pisses them off. And they're going to give up and go away. And they'll blame you for everything. But let them. Who cares? Who cares? Because my vibration is so strong that you were not able to break through. You were not able to get to me. You weren't able to trap me. So this is where, again, when you raise your vibration to the point that people really don't understand how I operate the way I operate. When I say I'm a beast, I am a beast. I am so proud of my energy body. Like when I tell you that nothing really bothers me, stuff gets to me. I want people to understand. Bothering me and getting to me are different. Bothering me means I'm ruminating. I'm stuck on it. I don't know how to get out of it. Stuff that just happens that annoys me is you annoyed me. Like it's like a fly or something. Like, okay, get out of here. But I'm not like pissed off. It's just like, okay. And if I do get pissed off, I let myself be pissed off for a moment. Not forever, not for hours, not for days, just for the moment. Will I remember things in moments that piss me off? Yes. But again, transmute that energy. Because then anytime you transmute energy and you make it something to remember, this is just a moment in life. It is not my entire life. You raise your vibration. This is what we talk about ascension and all these things. People have so many different words for the same thing. For me, again, vibration is the cup. The frequency is what's inside. And whatever's inside, that's what you call. That's what's attracted to you. That's what's going to try to drink from you. And depending, again, if you want to be drank from and if you want to be utilized that way, then you give. But for me, here's how I do. I'm a cup that's underneath a waterfall that always gets filled up and it rains down and overflows to everyone else. And you can have all that, but you will never get to be in my source cup. Never, never, never. Not nobody. I don't care. Not my family, not my lovers. Nobody has ever been in my main cup. And that's what pisses them off because they're like, why aren't you giving me all of you? Because you'll never have all of me. I will have all of me. That's who deserves me. Me. I need all of me for me. That's why my vibration stays where it's at. That's why I'm able to keep being used and giving and vibrating so that the universe can do what it wants with me, right? The universe is feminine energy. Remember, masculine and feminine energy is not how you look. It's not how you talk. It's not how you walk. It's not how you dress. They're expressions of what we feel masculine energy is and feminine energy, but it's genuinely the spectrum of both sides of you. You have to understand that you are both masculine and feminine energy. Yes, there's the dark side. Yes, there's the light side. But in the middle, there's the gray. And if you go close enough, you'll see the black and white is intermingling. That's who we all are. That's who we should all be. Because right now, again, there's some masculine who is the best of all the masculines, and they can act hard and tough and all this. And they're surrounded by a bunch of yes men who want to be just like them. But that masculine is still yearning for a soft, light feminine. And that feminine can be the most femmy of the fem, right? And then they still want their masculine, who can feel hard and protect them and hold them down and root them, right? You can do that, but you'll constantly feel imbalanced in that relationship unless you are the true embodiment of polarity. Now, if you are like me and you're dualistic and you're both, you're going to have a hard time finding friends and partners who fit you because you can do it all. Like I said, I don't know if I said in the beginning of the video because I did the other video and it got cut off, so I started over. But I am both mama and daddy. I can do it all. I don't need anyone to help me or protect me or any of that. But I love that if you can do that. And if we can integrate our energy and work together, then baby, then we gonna go to a whole new spiritual embodiment together. And we're gonna attract in energy that can't nobody penetrate. These are power couples. We talk about power couples. Those people did the work. They're still two separate embodiments of self, and they're both masculine and feminine with self. But when they come together, you see it. Like when people talk about Michelle and Obama, you see it. She is beautiful, but you can tell she's masculine energy. You can tell he is handsome. He is very masculine, but you can tell he's a little bit softer. So you can see that they balance each other out. Any energy that you see like that, you understand. It's not about one is more dominant than the other. No, it's about they embrace each other's energy and they balance each other's energy. But individually, they're doing it for themselves. That's why they can stand alone and still be respected and represent who they are without people saying, well, that's his wife and that's Obama's wife. They don't say that. They say that's Michelle. Okay? They know her very well. Y'all can think about a lot of presidents, but you don't really know their wives at all. And you know a lot of wives, you don't know their husbands at all, right? That's the point. You got to understand that when you embody who you are and you vibrate at the level that you're meant to be, no one's going to change who you are or the title of what you represent. So you have to know that when you want to align with your soul's energy, again, the human is our ancestors' clone. The soul is the universe's clones. So when you do soul work, you're speaking to the universe. And the universe is like, okay, well, baby, where do you want to be? And you have to say, well, I want to complete this journey. And say, okay, well, go ahead and complete that journey. And when you're done with that journey, you come back to me and I'll give you a new assignment. That's it. The human body doesn't know that. So this is why the human body goes through all these emotions and depressions and anxieties, because if you're anxiety, again, you're in the future. If you're depressed, you're in the past. If you're in the present, you're in the present. That's the current now. So the currency of now is you have to know how to allow the soul to be tethered to you and go off and do what it needs to do without you losing yourself, right? When I was younger, I was a heavy drinker and drug user and all those things. And I'm not ever going to tell people don't do it, because I honestly don't care if you do. I really don't. Don't get addicted is what I would say. Use whatever you want to use. Don't get addicted. How do you don't get addicted? You don't let that become your escape. You don't let things become escapism to the point that if you're feeling something, you can't handle it. Let me run to this drug or this drink. It's okay to want to take the edge off. But if you're doing it every time, all day, and you're just numb to the world, yeah, baby, you got a problem. Go get some help. But if you understand that this is just a tool, let me use this tool temporarily, but I'm still needing to learn how to do it by hand so that I can do this by hand without, if that tool's aren't around. That's where you know how to then, when people say, oh, I'm celibate, or oh, I've been sober, those are beautiful lessons, but don't let that become your identity either, right? There's a lot of people that they become the identity of this thing of, I ran away from this thing, and now you should too. No, I ain't never gonna tell nobody stop doing something. If you enjoy indulging, indulge. Just don't let that become your vibration. That's it. If you're a drunk, that's a vibration. And now the frequency is, I need these liquids to make me feel better. And then you let all these spirits and entities into your body when you're drunk. And then you wake up sober and be like, oh my God, I did what? Oh my God, oh my God. Shut up. Because you let it happen. So it is what it is. So it doesn't matter. Anywho, the whole point of this is in order to raise your vibration, you have to remember that you have to have confidence in who you are. You have to remember everything is energy, and it's going to attract to the energy that you represent. So again, when they say be mindful of who you surround yourself with, be mindful of the friends that you attract and the family and the people you hang out with, that is a vibration. The frequency is what you guys all agree on. The vibration is, again, environments where you hang out, things you like to do. People say, I'm country. That's a vibration. I'm ghetto. That's a vibration. I'm emo. That's a vibration. Frequency. Well, I like to listen to rock. I only like to listen to rap. I only like to listen to country. Okay, well, that's the frequency of the energy of that vibration. So now when that frequency comes on and that type of music come on, now you guys are feeling it. You're vibing to it, right? That's that. So when they say be intentional with the words you listen to, yeah, words are spells. So depending on the vibration and the frequency that you're tapping into, now you're going to listen to the spell work and the ingredients of what makes that formula the formula of what it is, and you're going to become the byproduct of that thing. That's why you have so many NPCs out here who look and sound just alike, because they have no true identity. They're just replicating what works, and they're like, yeah, that's what I want to do too. I want to be that thing. I want to receive what they want to receive. When they talk about tech bros and all this, and yeah, because it works. What they're doing works. It doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do or be, but it works. So if it works, people are going to go do it. And again, energy is like, oh, okay, well, let me put more energy into that because they're doing what works. But you get lost in translation. Again, I'm never going to make any subgroup feel bad for being who they are, but everybody has their stereotypes that comes along with replicating other people's energy. I myself am my own energy. You might meet somebody that reminds me of you, or you of them, or whatever, and that means we're just soul tribe. That just means that we come from a similar tribe of minds and energies, where someplace on this earth or someplace out in the universe, we just come from a concentrated place of, yes, we're family, but we still have our own identities that we tap into. And with each identity, you're going to allow yourself to raise your vibration and call in exactly who you're meant to call in and exactly who you're meant to be. So at the end of the day, make sure that you're tapping into who you are. If you love to sing and dance, do it. It's going to call in the frequency more of singing and dancing. If you like to write and act, do it. It's going to call in that frequency. But you still have to be the embodiment of the vibration, which means you have to go out and know how to embody that energy. You have to know how to go out and replicate that in a way that is speaking to you and telling your story. I saw somebody on social media talk about some, well, it's the, storytelling and all that and personality, it doesn't matter. It's more about the analytics. They're right, because it's a computer system, it's a game. But if you want to genuinely be who you are and call in who you really want, then that means you have to tell your story and you have to show your personality. So there's always going to be two sides of the story. There's the logical side and there's the imagination side, and they both go together. So I'm never going to tell somebody like, don't tell your story, follow analytics, go repeat, replicate, copy, paste. Yeah, you'll make money. But at the end of the day, it's empty. It's not who you are. You're not going to find real joy in repeating somebody else's formula. I don't care what anyone else says. You're not going to find real joy in repeating somebody's formula. You might make money, and if making money gets you where you want to be, great. But people have already said once you get that money, it gets lonely and boring because you did all this crap to be this thing that was never you. So I would rather take the long road and get to my destination happy, healthy, and who I am with my pure vessel than getting there tainted, dirty, and looking like everybody else and running out of energy because it was never my energy to begin with. Remember, you have to know what source you tap into to replenish. I am that cup under the waterfall that gets filled up completely and I overflow. So I will never be empty. I will never be an empty vessel. Versus people who are sitting on the side and taking their cups and using that overflow to keep filling up for me. But then one day when I move, that energy's not there for them to use anymore. They don't know who they are. So don't let that become you. Raise your vibration, know who you are, be confident in self, and you will call in exactly the energy that is meant to be who you are. Love you. As always, follow me on all my socials. Check me out on my website, services, products, merch. If you like this video, give me a like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I love you. Mwah.